Hello and welcome back. I'm Dr. Michelle Sands. So today is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to actually teach you how to make your own medicine. And it sounds a lot scarier than it actually is. There are many ways to use nature as medicine. We can go out in the sunshine and use the vitamin D from the sun as medicine. We can go out barefoot and walk on the grass or the earth, and that can be healing for grounding purposes. It can balance our electromagnetic fields. It can undo some of the damage from being on screens all day, and it can really lower our stress levels. As with going into the ocean or walking in the forest, there is something called shinbroku, which is a Japanese word for forest bathing, and that just means immersing yourself in nature. And it's shown to actually reduce blood pressure, reduce stress, or reduce a lot of inflammatory markers. They actually measure this on blood tests, on diagnostic tests, and they saw that time spent in nature is remarkable and even better than pharmaceutical drugs in really helping people to be more resilient, to lower inflammation, to reduce all-cause mortality, whether it be from cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, autoimmune conditions, really pretty much anything, even reducing the experience of pain, just by getting out in nature, breathing fresh air, immersing yourself. Even if you live in the city, you can still find a little park with a little patch of grass. You can still get the sunshine. You can still get fresh air. You can still do many of these things. And then moving our body is powerful medicine. As humans, we were meant to move. And so just the act of moving our body however we can, whether that is going for a run or a walk, or just moving our arms and our legs, or wiggling our fingers and toes, no matter what it is for you, moving your body every day, multiple times a day, and not just sitting sedentary and stagnant in one place, that causes your blood to pool. It causes blood pressure issues, can cause mental issues, hormonal imbalances. And so movement is super important, as is sleep. So we need to move our body, and then we need to allow our body to rest. Now, yesterday we talked all about sleep and its benefits, so I'm not going to do that again, but it's so important for our detox, our hormones, our inflammation, our immune system, our mental health, and so much more. And so sleep is powerful medicine. Food, of course, we've talked a lot about food as medicine. We've had many speakers bring up anti-inflammatory diets, healing foods. Even some of the medicines that we're going to be talking about today can also be foods. So today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to show you how to make one of the easiest and most beneficial, most convenient types of herbal medicine, and that is a tincture. A tincture, you may have seen tinctures at the health food store. They come in these like little bottles with little droppers, and they're super convenient because you can carry them around. Once you make them, they can sit on the shelf for pretty much an indefinite amount of time. You will use them before they will go bad. I do know some herbalists and some naturopaths that have been around for many years, and they'll find tinctures that are 40, 50 years old, and they still work, and they still are good, and they still taste like the herb. However, I'm not going to say that there won't be some degradation and some loss of function if it's over 30 years, but just know that if you make up a tincture, we're going to be using a jar of this size, so that will last you maybe 1 or 2 years, or it might last you only a couple months, depending on your relationship to the plant, what you're using it for, how often you need to use it, how often you call on that medicine to help you. And generally, to make a tincture, all it really is, it's a dried or fresh herb. In this case, because of the time of year, we're using dandelion root is phenomenal. Now, this procedure that I'm going to show you is good for pretty much any fresh or dried root, fresh or dried leaf, flower, and any herb that you want to use, even the roots, the stems, the stalks, the leaves, the flowers, all of those things can be made into a tincture. Today I'm using dandelion root because I have some local clients that need some help with detox, and so this is going to be my little gift to them. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a dried root, we're going to put it in a glass jar, sterile glass jar, and we're going to add a liquid to it. They call it a menstruum in natural medicine. Nothing to do with menstruation. It's basically the solution or the solvent, but they call it a menstruum. So that's the medium in which the medicine from the plant, all the chemical constituents, all the healing properties are going to be extracted out into the liquid, and then you strain it and put it in this bottle or a dropper bottle. Because how we dose tinctures is going to be by the dropper full. And so dropper full, what that means is when you squeeze this little bulb, the amount that comes in the dropper, that's one dropper full. It doesn't fill up the whole dropper. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I didn't get a whole dropper full. We just say dropper full by how much you squeeze in there. And so always make sure that you label your tinctures when you're making them, because they're all going to look the same and you want to make sure what you're taking. So dandelion root, what I love about dandelion root is dandelions are so readily accessible almost anywhere in the country. So in the springtime, you'll see them popping up on your lawn. Don't put glyphosate on them. Don't put Roundup on them. Don't cut them down. Pull them up. Dandelion flowers and leaves make great salads, and the dandelion roots are wonderful for making tinctures and teas. And so some of the properties of dandelion root, now we talked about dandelion leaf before, and dandelion leaf has wonderful diuretic properties, and it has a lot of like helpful healing properties, but this is the root. And so this is actually, because of the time of year, I don't have the fresh roots. This is actually the dried and sifted roots all cut up already for me. I ordered these from Mountain Rose Herbs. And so you can order whatever you like any time of year, and they'll have it on stock. And then I just store them in a little glass jar. And so dandelion root, some of the benefits is for digestion. It's a bitter root, so it does help stimulate digestion. It helps to relieve constipation. It's a wonderful natural remedy for constipation. It also supports liver detox. So all the wonderful things that happen at liver detox helps to balance hormones, right? The liver is one of our big hormone balancing organs. And so things like PMS, PCOS, hormonal acne, eczema, any inflammatory condition, asthma, rheumatoid arthritis, all of these things can be helped by reducing inflammation. And then because the root also has a probiotic fiber, it's great for your gut and immune health as well. So it's a wonderful herb to use, dandelion root. And you can do it, we're gonna make the tincture, but we also, the very same dried and sifted roots, I actually can also make what's called a decoction. So you'll see boiling on the stove, you just pour some of about 2 or 3 tablespoons of the dandelion root into a pot and boil it. And then once it starts boiling, you're gonna turn it down to simmer for about 20 minutes. And then you're gonna strain it out. And what you're gonna get is this wonderful, deep, dark, there we go, you can kind of see it, deep, dark tea. So once it cools, you can drink it. You can drink it as is. You can drink it, you can add some ice. You can drink it cold. And so this will last in the refrigerator for about 1 or 2 days. And so you want to make this and drink it. And so that act of making a decoction or a tea, it's a wonderful, simple way to make medicine, but it's time consuming because you got to put the herb in the pot, you gotta boil the water, you gotta wait 20 minutes, and you have to let it cool, and then you have to drink it right away. You can't really save this. And then also, I don't really like to waste things when it comes to herbal medicine. So this is what the root looks like when it's boiled out. And this can be eaten as a vegetable. So you can throw it in with some quinoa, and it has like a wonderful nutty flavor. And so you can eat the root after you've extracted it. And that way you're not gonna waste anything. You're gonna get all of the healing properties of it. And this has some great fiber in it as well. So that is the decoction, but we're gonna talk about making the tincture. And one of the benefits of making the tincture is you're gonna do it once. It's super simple, as you're gonna see. You can't really mess it up. So there's really no way you can mess up making a tincture. And once you make it, you'll put it into these bottles and it's gonna sit on the shelf for as long as you need it. Anytime you need it, you don't have to boil water. You don't have to wait 20 minutes. You don't have to wait for it to cool down. You can just take it and you can keep it, you can travel with it, keep it in your purse. You can have it right before bed. You don't have to consume a lot of water. So tinctures are amazing. So what we're gonna do here is we're going to just open up our clean jar. So you want, this is not like a typical mason jar. This is just a jar that I'm not really sure where it's from, but we save a lot of jars when we're making natural medicine. And so this is just a jar here. What we're gonna do is when you're working with a dried root, so this one's a dried root, not a fresh root, you want to fill only about 1/3 of the way up. So 1/4 to 1/3, because it's going to expand, and I'll show you this one that I made yesterday. So this one already is together, it's already made. And now it was only about this high in the dried root, and then it's doubled in its size overnight. So it doubled, tripled in its size. So you don't want to put too much because it'll grow out. So all we're gonna do, we're gonna put, and as you notice, I have everything labeled. The herbs start to look the same after a while. So we're gonna put about a quarter of the way full. About good, maybe we'll add a little bit more salt on this dried too. Okay, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna choose your tincture liquid. So vodka or brandy is the best choice. The alcohol is what extracts it. So we're gonna fill it all the way up with vodka. It's about 40 proof or 40% alcohol or 80 proof. That's how it works out with the measures. So I have the rest of that. And so if you don't want to use alcohol or you don't like alcohol, if you don't like the sting of it, or if consuming alcohol is against your religion, or you're going to be giving this herb to children, or you just don't like the idea of alcohol at all, you can make a tincture or what's called an infusion with apple cider vinegar. So there's some pros and cons to both of them. Apple cider vinegar, the pro is that it has its own nutritive benefits. So apple cider vinegar is great. It's a great medicine in and of itself. And so the same way that you would do the vodka, you would actually just do the vinegar. The con is that for some people, it's a little too acidic. And for some people, they actually don't like the taste of the vinegar. And so it's up to you. Either way, it's the same process. Pouring the vodka in right now. And I'm gonna go all the way to the top. And some of the roots will float on the top, but that's okay because we're gonna shake it. And before you put the lid on, it's good to put a little bit of a cheesecloth like this, or wax paper even, so that actually I haven't doubled it, so it doesn't reach the top. So it doesn't come in contact with the metal because it will erode it. So there we go. So you're just gonna set that to the side. And then what you're gonna do, and so you wanna label that as well. So you'll set that to the side, it's labeled, put it on the shelf, and then every day you're gonna get it and you're gonna shake it. So you're gonna shake it just so that all of the herbs are saturated in the vodka. You want them all to have vodka saturating it. That's going to preserve it. So you don't have to worry about any mold growing on it. You don't have to worry about it going bad. And once the alcohol has gotten on it, it's going to be good. So you just want to shake it for about 2 to 3 minutes each day. And just make sure that, because the stuff in the middle is going to be not in contact. So you just want to shake it every day. You're going to do that for about 2 months. So it will work best if it is shaken and sits in the vodka for 2 months to extract out all those wonderful properties. Then once you do that, you're going to strain the liquid and you're going to put it into these dropper bottles, and then you're good to go. It can be on your shelf. You can use it however you like. Now, if you use the apple cider vinegar method, it's going to be the same thing. 2 months, it's going to sit on the shelf, and you're going to shake it every day. Now, if you forget to shake it, that's completely fine. That's happened to me many times where I've made some herbs, I put them on the shelf, and then something else got in front of them and something else got in front of that, and then I forgot to shake them before, and they still turned out fine. Just if you can remember to shake it as part of your day, it's part of your exercise, shake your herbs, and then it will come out in this little tincture, and it'll be absolutely amazing. Now, you can do this same process with pretty much any herb you like. You can even do it with like spices like garlic. Garlic pickles are absolutely amazing. So garlic, put in the jar with apple cider vinegar, put it over it 2 weeks. They're like a pickled garlic and it takes the bite out. It's absolutely amazing. You can do it with dandelion leaves. You can do it with chamomile, so many different things. And we will be talking more about different herbal preparations, even different tinctures and different decoctions and infused honeys, infused vinegars, even infused wines in our upcoming course, Natural Medicine SOS. So I'll be showing you how to make all of those things. These make great gifts. It's great to make your own medicine for your family. This is going to be a great detox for you, a great hormone balancer, great for eczema and acne. And so this is just taken internally. The dosage for dandelion root extract is going to vary for individual. So I would say 1 to 3 droppers 1 to 3 times a day. Now that's a big stretch, right? It's 1 dropper 1 time a day versus 3 droppers 3 times a day. But what you're going to do is you're going to start with the 1 dropper and see how that makes you feel. And then if you're like, well, I feel fine or I didn't feel anything, then do a second dropper. And so up to 3 full droppers 3 times a day. And you can do it constantly, or you can do it in phases. So if you're going to do a detox like our metabolic rehab program, or if you're going to do a detox after the holidays or before the holidays, you can do it for a couple months where you're doing your dandelion tincture. If you're noticing that you're getting constipation, you're noticing that you're getting acne, you're feeling like you're having a lot of inflammation, then this is a great time to pull out this medicine. So making your own medicine is a great activity that you can do with your family, and it's just a great way to really take control of your health, save money, and really connect with nature. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have questions or comments, please let me know below, and I am looking forward to working more with you in the future. Take care, be healthy, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.